and welcome back to Spotlight on Newcastle County, which features all things Newcastle County, Delaware. I'm your host, Melody Kitchen. You never know who we're going to talk to or where we're going to visit. There are a number of events and festivals occurring in September, and today we're going to feature one of them, namely the African American Festival, scheduled the last weekend of September in Wilmington. As such, I'm pleased to welcome Harmon Carey to the NCC TV studio. Thank you for being here today, Mr. Carey.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
When does the African American Festival in Wilmington begin, and for how many days does it continue?
Okay, this year's festival, which is our 19th, will be our 19th festival. It's hard to believe that. Takes place on the last weekend in September, September 27th and 28th. It's going to be at a park on the east side called Holloway. Holloway Park was named after the first African American state senator. Got to throw that little bit of history in, Melody, because I'm kind of a local history buff. So from time to time, I'll do that. But it's going to be that last Saturday and Sunday. It'll start around noon in the afternoon and go until 6 or 7 at night. We're just looking forward to having people come out and share with us not only the program, but the food and the entertainment, all the good stuff that's going to be going on at this family festival. And I want to stress that, if I may. Family Festival, African American Family Festival. And the reason why I want to stress that, Melody, is that sometimes festivals are more geared toward adults. There's drinking going on, there's some gambling going on, things that really children should not partake in. And we have made a point of trying to stress the fact that ours is going to be a youth-centered activity with wholesome activities and entertainment that not only is for children, but in some respects is going to involve children.
Sounds very nice. How long has the festival been held?
This festival is in its 19th year, and we take pride in that. It hasn't always been easy to keep it going this long, because the Afro-American Historical Society, which I proudly serve as executive director, is a nonprofit organization with not very much in the way of resources. So in order to sponsor this festival, we've had to look to support from government, the governmental section. Tom Gordon doesn't know this yet, but while I'm over here today, I'm going to be knocking on his door trying to get a small donation. And we look to the business community for help, and we charge a small fee for vendors so that we can keep all of the activities for free, so that we don't have to charge people, because the East Side is basically a low to moderate income neighborhood, and we know that children and their families are hard strapped. These are not the best of times, to say the least. But we don't charge for anything. We don't charge for the food that the children can partake of. We don't charge for the boat ride. We don't charge for the moon bounce. It's all free and designed in such a way that no one has any excuse for not doing anything. We don't want a fee to keep people from participating.
How important would you say the festival is to the African American community?
Well, I was brought up on the East Side. The East Side back in those days was principally a black community, and it is now really, having been so designated by City Council, the only African American heritage community in the entire state of Delaware. So it's an historic community, and we think that the festival should celebrate the history of this particular community. So one of the things that will be different about our festival in comparison perhaps to some others is that we're going to have a Kitty Heritage Tour, a heritage tour to take children to and show them some of the historic houses and other locations in the Black community. Sometimes you feel there's nothing special about your community, you know, and we want children to understand they're living in a special place. So we hope that it imbues pride in them and a feeling that that they ought to take care of their community and get involved in a positive way. I'm saying this somewhat awkwardly, but I hope you get the gist of it.
I do. Can you tell us some of the things that people can enjoy at the festival?
Well, we're going to start off, as I said, with this kiddie tour. It will begin at 10 o'clock on Saturday the 27th from the Walnut Street YMCA, which during the days of segregation was the only YMCA that blacks could participate in. So it's really an iconic site in and of itself. So we're going to start at 10 o'clock. The tour is open to anybody who wants to attend. And then we'll be going to places like Howard High School, the first black secondary high school in the state of Delaware. We're going to buy the Redding House, the house of the first African-American lawyer in the state of Delaware. We're going to let the young people know about Mr. Redding's contributions toward our civil rights because, Melody, as you know, some of the kids don't know, this is the 50th anniversary of the passage of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. So we feel a need to include in our festival an activity that takes note of this historic event. And the tour is going to do that. We're going to visit the home of the first African-American female city council lady. Her name is Hattie Phelan, and State Representative Bolden, who followed Hattie Phelan on city council, is going to meet us at Hattie Phelan's house, the former home, and tell the young people about her contribution. So we'll start off with this historic tour. And then by 11 o'clock, we should be down at the park, down at 7th and Lombard Streets, where we're going to have a karate demonstration by the karate class from the Hicks Anderson Community Center. Now, why karate? Because we want children to know how to protect themselves, but also karate teaches self-control and respect. So we'll have an opportunity for young people to not only view this, but to sign up. Their parents can sign them up for lessons if they want. At 12 noon, we're going to have a libation, which in the Christian community might be like an invocation. It's an African invocation. And that would be followed by an African-American song and dance group called the Griots Wa Umoja. After that, we're going to have open mic. I mentioned to you early on that we want to provide opportunities for children to participate. Well, the open mic will do just that. So if a kid has a talent and he wants to get up on the stage and sing or dance or whatever, he's going to have, or she's going to have a chance to do that during this open mic segment. Then we're going to move into other acts. We're going to have some rap, which I don't understand. Maybe you do, you're young. Rap, you with the rap? You like it, okay. I would like it if I understood it. So I'm going to listen intently to what these rap performers have to say, but it's going to be wholesome rap. No cursing, no misogynist words.
Like you
I had
said,
to use that word.
respectful.
Very respectful, yes. And then we're going to get more into the music of my day. We're going to have some rhythm and blues. We have a local performer named Lance Bruce. He does things that the Temptations used to sing, and Smokey Robinson, those kinds of entertainment. And that'll go on for a half an hour or so, and I might even do what the cameraman is doing. I might get up and do a little dance. Then we're going to move into some jazz. Wilmington is a mecca for jazz because of the great Clifford Brown, who was born here, who finished Howard High School in 1948. There I go with my history stuff again. But who went on to become, I consider him the greatest jazz trumpeter ever. Now I know that Miles Davis, some would take issue with me. Some would say Dizzy Gillespie. I don't think anybody would say Harry James. Nobody knows who he was but old people like me. But he was one of the greatest jazz trumpeters ever. So we're going to have a jazz concert featuring the Alfie Moss Dexter Kuntz Project to end up the first day. Now that's just day number one. Day number two is going to be a gospel fest where the theme is going to be more spiritual with gospel singing, the spoken word. We're going to have praise dancing. This part of the program is being sponsored by the Interdenominational Ministerial Action Council, which leads me to remind our viewers that this is not just an event by the Afro-American Historical Society. It really has broad support. The YMCA of Delaware is one of our supporters. IMAC, Bethel AME Church, and other churches have joined in. The Congo Funeral Home. I know that the Wilmington City Council, the mayor's office, Newcastle County Council, it has broad community support, and which is really our salvation, because if we had to do this alone, we could not do it, and I would be remiss if I did not add the City Department of Parks and Recreation. So for those 2 days, it's going to be some opportunities for young people to experience some things that are unusual. I bet you can't tell me, Melody, what a pard is. What's a pard? We're going to have a pard sale. What's that? I know you don't, and nobody listening or looking on knows, because I just made it up. A pard sale is a yard sale in a park, okay? What we're saying to people in the community, if you have some household items that you don't use anymore and they're too good to throw away, come on out. Bring a table, bring a card table, whatever you have, and sell it. And if you want to make a donation to us, if you don't, just put the money in your pocket. A pard sale. How about that, Melody?
I like it. Sounds like
a little different, huh? Okay.
Also, I forgot to ask, what is the parking situation?
Well, parking shouldn't be a problem. There's ample parking right in the neighborhood. There's a parking lot right across the street from the park. A lot of the people will be within walking distance because it's right in the middle of the east side. But Melody, you're mentioning parking. Parking is a concern, and it's especially a concern for those who drive. Those who drive to come to our festival won't have any problem. But I want to say this. This is an African American family festival. And too often, our friends in the white community think that if it is named such, if it's sponsored by African Americans, and if it's in an African American community, that that they're not welcome to come. We want the entire community to know that you are welcome to come, just as we feel welcome to come to the Polish festival, to the German, what is it? What's the name of it?
Oktoberfest?
Oktoberfest, the Italian festival. Just as those ethnic groups welcome us, we too are welcoming the other ethnic groups. So we want people to know this is an open festival. It's an African American festival, but we want to share our heritage and our culture with you just as you share yours with us.
I think that sounds really nice. And is there anything else that you'd like to add today, Mr. Carey?
Well, I feel like I'm taking too much of your time, but there are a couple of things that I would like to highlight before our program closes. One thing is this: our festival is going to stress for the children eating healthy foods. So instead of having the traditional, what do you call it, cotton candy and water ice, we're going to serve them healthy snacks. We're going to serve them fruit. Now, I don't know how that's going to go off with the kids, but we got to start somewhere, and we're going to start at our festival, okay? The other thing is a lot of our young people don't have a chance to go to the Brandywine Zoo, even though it's 10 or 15 minutes away. They don't go out there. I know because I go on the Brandywine and sit and look at the river and look at the geese, and I don't see many black kids out there. So we're going to try to bring a traveling zoo to the park for them to see, okay? And with a few snakes and I don't know what else, probably no lions and tigers, I hope not anyway, but we're going to have a traveling zoo. And the real thing I guess I'm most proud of, and that's only because when I was young and used to stand in Christina Park on 4th Street looking at the Christina River and seeing people go by in boats, and I just wanted to be out in the boat so bad as a kid. So thanks to the Riverfront Development Corporation, we're going to be able to provide free boat rides for children and their parents. So it should be, all in all, it should be an entertaining experience for those who come. And for the white kids that come, you can go on the boat ride too. You know, if we can get some ponies there, we're going to have pony ride. We haven't found a pony vendor yet. Does Carousel Farms let their ponies come out, Melody? Do you know?
You know, I'm not sure. We'd have to ask.
I guess when I go ask Tom for some money today, I'll ask him for a couple ponies as well, okay? But I want to thank you so much for having me come on, and I just want to remind our viewers that this festival takes place the 27th and 28th of September. It's going to be at Holloway Park. We're going to start at 11 o'clock at the Walnut Street Y with a tour. Bring your children to the tour. We want them to know something about some of the great African American leaders who lived in this community. And after that, we'll be at the park and to launch this two-day festival.
Well, thank you so much for being here today, Mr. Carey, and we look forward to the festival, and I wish you the best of luck.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
You'll be fine.
Well, that wraps up this edition of Spotlight on Newcastle County. This is Melody Kitchen. Thank you very much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you at the festival.